So, with you having Love Curated as your now latest album out, what is next for you after this 16 song album? What's next?
Well, we're gonna hit the road. We're gonna hit the road. I'm always gonna be creating and writing, but I want to, and I am, but I'm just hitting the stages and performing. Forming a new band, and we actually have some dates already lined up for 2025, and just looking forward to making music and just being in the music, just being in the atmosphere of the music.
Nice. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence. Today, returning to the platform is Desmond Parson. Yeah, you seen him the last time with that great, amazing voice. But this time, I'm highlighting him not only as an artist, but he has a new album release. And I had the pleasure of getting a sneak peek of that album, and I must say that is amazing. It is an album to fall in love again. That's why I said bring back the love, bring back the music to make you fall in love, and he did just that. So after his countdown, please welcome this amazing artist to this platform once again.
I'm tired of playing on the team. It seems I don't get time out anymore. Oh, and oh, what a waste at the pace. No one even trying to score. Oh, and oh.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. So tell everybody a little snippet that who didn't watch the episode last time, a little bit about yourself and what you have accomplished since then.
Well, Desmond Parson, R&B artist from the Washington D.C. area. As I mentioned on the our last talk, I didn't want to just listen to music. I wanted to be a part of that creative community, and so God set it up so that I could do so. And I'm just blessed to be able to create and just love what I do.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So you just celebrated 5 years as an independent artist with the release of I Got Five on it.
Yes.
The greatest hits package. So
Yes.
looking back, what has been the most rewarding part about your journey so far?
The most rewarding part is being able to be to create a community of people, um, particularly during the pandemic, which forced everybody to kind of take a break. I didn't know there were people like myself, creatives out there, but then also just creating this community of, I call them friends. As much as they may say that they're fans of mine, I call them friends. And we just have this community of just talking, music and life, because as much as it is music, it's a personal journey for me as well. And so being able to connect with people, I think for me is the most gratifying and rewarding.
You're right. People need people to get where they're going, because if
Absolutely.
it wasn't for the people supporting us, then we wouldn't be the places we are. And when we realize that, Desmond, we're gonna be in a better place. Seriously.
Absolutely.
So, as 5 years of being an independent artist, now that's a huge milestone. How have your views on success in the music industry changed since you first started out?
Initially, you had different benchmarks for success. Sometimes if I make it on the radio, or if I'm able to be on a show with a certain artist, but I would even say, to, if I'm honest with myself, within the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's not even on, and not that I quote a lot of people, but something that Jay-Z said, the goal isn't to be rich and famous. The goal is to live out your life doing the thing that you do. And for me, that's the most rewarding, to be able to create from an idea something that someone can possibly hold in their hands or listen to, or into a greater degree, something that somebody can hear and like, me too. I felt like that too. And so that is the most gratifying part for me. Now, I'm not going to turn down money. Don't get me wrong. but but at the end of the day, making that connection, because this work prayerfully would be here long after I'm gone. And if you, as you see the folks behind me, a lot of those people, Stevie's still here, but a lot of those artists have transitioned this life already, but their music is still here, and that's what I want.
Nice. I love it. But you made a great point. As long as you enjoy what you're doing in life and you have that passion for it, everything else is gonna come. But
Yes,
people get into things sometimes, Desmond, for the wrong reasons. And that's why it
absolutely,
fails horribly. But if you have a passion and you have a heart with it, nothing is gonna fail. And somebody's gonna resonate with your words.
absolutely, absolutely.
So with I always mess this album name up.
Mhm.
um Lord, the Repacy. How do you pronounce that album
Oh,
name?
reciprocity.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
You said it. So with it reaching the top 5 on the urban influencer for the UK soul chart,
Mhm.
making that a major moment in your career. What does this recognition mean to you, and how do you stay grounded, with such success?
Well, it's to have your work acknowledged by anyone is a blessing for me. It certainly is for me. A lot of there are a lot of different charts and a lot of different platforms that rank music, and just to have your, without you poking the pride and without you, um, I don't know how. I just thank God for it that they got a hold of my music, and just to, first of all, again, have it recognized is just a blessing in and of itself. You have to think, so many artists are out there, and you like who you like, but at the end of the day, for someone to hear a song of mine and then you know decide that it's up there. I believe I saw Let Us See, um, some other names that just to be on the same page with these artists is just a blessing. So I just thank God for it. Staying grounded, this is the work that God called us to do. So as much as it's my name or you know my voice that you hear, all of this came from God. So I give God all the glory. But um, yeah, yeah. I mean, we put our pants on or whatever one day, one leg at a time. And so I thank God for it. I'm humbled, but still grinding and still just being the artist that God called me to be. So just again blessed to have my name in the number, as they say.
Nice. I love it. Now, as an artist, you've been through many stages of the music industry. From seeing now, were you in the era with the records or the CDs?
So by the time I got on the scene, the CDs were on their way out. I mean, CDs are still here,
Okay.
but we're in the spot of the streaming era now. So Apple Music, Spotify, you can download your music to your phone. I grew up in the era, as you can see, with the vinyl, and I
Right.
want something in my hands. It's something about going through that whole opening the CD case and seeing who produced what. I love that. So I'm all over the place. But by the time I got on the scene, streaming was pretty prominent. But yeah.
So with you knowing, that music has evolved so much over time from vinyl to what was before vinyl? It was something before the A tracks. They had the A
A-track,
tracks,
yes.
they had the vinyl, they had the CDs, and now we're in the streaming stage. How do you think that has changed your life as an artist, and how has your sound evolved over the years with those changes?
So yes, the music, the medium of music has changed. From the 45s to the 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs, and so with that, the experience has changed. I recall, growing up in the 80s, going to a record store, you taking the shrink wrap off the album, you putting it on the turntable for the first time, or a cassette, and you open up the whole little gatefold thing, and it's a part of the experience. It's a part of, as you listen, now you're looking at maybe the lyrics, and you're looking at who wrote it, who did they think, the other pictures that you don't see on the front cover. And so that's a whole experience. That's a whole, not even even before you listen to it, on your way to the music store. The music store, that was a part of it. Then all of a sudden in the early 2000s, it was a little section in Target or Walmart or whatever. But now, it's pretty much just downloading and streaming it. So it's a different experience, and they're taking in their music differently now. Mm-hmm. But for me, into the B part of your question, I want my music to be where it's like, it's new, but it sounds like something. Mm-hmm. And it's by design, and it's not. It's by design because I'm influenced. I mentioned my Mount Rushmore in our last talk, but Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, Funkadelic, all of those people have played into my sound. Now, I'm not trying to emulate them, and if I am, it's just because it's just a thing in me. But I want my music to be reminiscent. Would never put myself in the category as those artists. I mean, you can't. But I want my music to inspire and to be reminiscent of those times and that sound. And so that's why I like, say, Plans, or maybe even Reciprocity. Sometimes when I create, I do have an artist in mind that I'm thinking about, not trying to sound like them, but I'm, as much as they say there's nothing new under the sun, I'm inspired by everyone, right. So that is, that plays a part into my sound.
Nice. I love it. So with your upcoming album, Love Curated, being released today on November 15th, what can listeners expect from this new project, and how does it reflect your growth, both as an artist and a person?
Very good question. So Love Curated is, if I had to kind of benchmark it, it's like my mini songs in the key of life, where I liken going to a museum, let me back up. So Stevie Wonder's album, Songs in the Key of Life, is about all aspects of life. Love Curated is about all aspects of love. So there's a love of between yourself. There's a love of God. There's a love of relationship love. There's humorous love. There's sensual love. So you're going to get a little bit of everything from Love Curated. But I liken it to going to a museum, and you're in this reception area, and then after the reception, they open the doors, and now each exhibit is its own little world. And so that's what the 16 tracks. So for instance, the very first track is Catered Affair. That's the reception, right? Then they open the doors. Now you're into Unloose Your Love, and now you're into, Nobody and Yesterday, and all of these are different exhibits within that museum. So that's how I liken, Love Curated to, just if I had to visualize it, that's what I see.
Wow. Okay. So now that makes sense, because when I first heard the first song, I was like, okay. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to make me go back and listen to the 16 songs again and imagine myself walking in the reception. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I love it. So we're going to get him a sneak peek of one of your songs.
Okay.
You're All Mine. I'm going to play it. All right.
Don't have many possessions, but I got all I need. The proof is in the
So walk me through the creative process for that song.
So You're All Mine, and I do this for every album that I've put out. This is my third album. I always remake one of my own songs for the album. And so You're All Mine is a remake of the single You're All Mine from 2019. And so I wanted, it's already a neo, or it's already R&B vibe, but I wanted more of a neo soul vibe for this go round. So you have on this track my brother Joe Manchester on guitar and Ashley Watkins on the flute. And I like the feel of this one. This is one of my favorites off the album. Um, Very neo soulish, and that was by design. I wanted something just, I love the first one. I love the first version, but I wanted to do something more in the R&B or neo soul vibe for this one. So I definitely dig that.
I love it. I'm glad I chose that song. See,
Oh, thank you.
I love that song. Actually, I listened to that song on repeat. Actually, that
Oh,
song
wow.
and
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yes. So as an artist who blends classic and contemporary R&B, how do you balance honoring the roots of the genre while pushing through your own musical boundaries?
So, I'm inspired, as I mentioned, by everyone. So by design and not, I'm going to be pulling some vocal inflections, maybe a Stevie or even Erica Badu, where I'm inspired by this sound. So sometimes I almost want you to feel like I know that sounds like, um, but for me, I am just inspired by them, and in terms of pushing it further, I just want to be me. Just what would Desmond? I could never sound like Stevie Wonder, but what would Desmond sound like singing this? What would Desmond? How would you spin this? And so that's where the originality comes in for me, and there's no comparison and there's no competition, so I can just do me, and I enjoy it. I'm vibing in here, so I just enjoy it, and so all of that plays into the music that you hear.
You're right. You're right. So with love being the center theme of your album,
Mhm.
I have to ask you this. How do you define love?
I define love as the total acceptance of someone, or the total acceptance, and it could be myself, despite my flaws, or despite someone else's flaws, or you know the total acceptance of something. Um, Everyone's going to have their own opinion, but of what that means. But for me, for instance, if I'm talking about myself, despite my flaws, despite my shortcomings, I love who God created me to be. I love who I am, my voice, not just my audible voice, but just who I am as a person, as a man. And so that's what I would define love as.
Love has so many different reasons. I mean, reasons and seasons and definitions.
Hmm.
And everybody looks at love but love is a powerful word, and people do not realize that four-letter word, it can shake rooms all over again.
Absolutely.
But I'm
Absolutely.
glad that you brought a song back, because I sit down, I'm stuck in the 90s, I'm stuck in the 80s. I can even listen to the 70s and the 60s because my
Hmm.
mom comes from like some of those areas before that. So I was listening to the old school music. So I'm glad that you brought some type of music back that you can go to a wedding and listen to it. You can get married to these type of songs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Yeah, I
love it.
mean it's timeless music. It's timeless music. You can listen to Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell. You can listen to Angela Winbush, Angela and Renee. My First Love, or you can listen to Avant, who did the remix with Kiki Wyatt. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so universal, and it's so timeless that you know some of Michael Jackson stuff. I can't help it. That was over 40 years ago, but when you listen to it, it has that same effect on you.
Same effect.
Yeah, so I mean, that's how you can tell the mark of timeless music, when it still hits you the same way as when our, predecessors, when our parents were growing up, and it hits you the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely.
You're right. So you work so hard to establish yourself as an independent artist. How does independence shape your creative freedom? And what's the biggest challenge in maintaining that independence?
So um, to answer that question, I always use the analogy of we're all in said football field, whichever one is closest to your city, right? And we're all artists, and so you know all of us, back, I guess, 30 years ago, you had to go through TV. You had BET or MTV or whatever to push your brand, for push who you were. But now everyone has a phone, and so with your phone, your phone is your BET, your phone is your MTV or whatever music outlet. We would normally watch the BET Awards or you know, the, I remember the Source Awards, all of that, and so the question is, how are you going to differentiate yourself from the person sitting beside you? You know what I mean? So yeah, everyone has the ability to put out their own music. Everyone has the ability to be an artist in their own right. But there's five other guys in here to sing too. So what do you do? Or five other, artists, female MCs or female vocalists. So the question is, how do you, differentiate yourself? And that's where the individuality comes in. So some people are going to come in and you're looking at their beauty, it's their look. Some people, you're going to hear about their stories, how many times they were shot or what they had to go through to get to this level of success, how they were on the street, how they were homeless. And so your story shapes your image, and so for me, I don't I came from a loving family, so my story is not that, but it is a personal journey. So how I stick out is by just being upfront. I didn't come out just playing the keyboard. I pretended to. For a long time, I pretended to sit at my grandmother's coffee table and play it like it was a keyboard and just pretend. We were younger, we played cops and robbers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it was a progression. So like the Bible says, you think before, therefore you are. So I thought of myself as an artist when I was little, and here we are. And so I tell my story any way I can, and I think that's what makes me. I wouldn't say better, but it makes me me because it's my
Right.
story. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
that's how, I think the individuality plays a part in my brand.
Nice. I love it. But it's still hard to a degree. Like you said, back in the day, you needed somebody to get to those levels. Now you have your phones,
Absolutely.
but you have to be so strategic and you have to be on it, on it, on it. Because if you're not
Yeah.
on like certain trends, you're not gonna go viral just like that. So you just
Oh
have to
yeah.
keep putting in the work, keep putting in the
Yeah.
work, and hope somebody, recognize you in the long run. So
Absolutely.
as R&B, continues to evolve, because R&B ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Where do you see the genre going, and what do you hope from your contribution to it will be in the years to come?
Well, it's like a song title off the album Love Curated. I'm gonna try to plug this album as much as possible, but Love Curated, Full Circle. So I say that to say that to answer your question, that my goal is that R&B music go back to love. That it goes back to love too. It's initially what it started out as an art form to express how you felt, particularly maybe not even just relationships, but the main, I guess, when you think of R&B, you think of love, and so that it goes back to love. That sex is a part of the human relationship. It's a part of the relationship, but at some point, you know, there was a deviation to just that part, to just that, and it's kind of um, I equate it to when you get a toy for Christmas and you use it for that one feature, but there's so many other facets to using
Yep.
this toy. Well, I want to call it a toy, but my point being is that it encompasses everything.
Right.
Like I was talking to someone not too long ago. I'm like, what do you get married to? This, now there are artists out there that are still doing it. Shout out to all of the artists that are still doing it. But the mainstream R&B, as you and I know it,
Mm-hmm.
that it come back to the forefront, and you can get married to it and fall in love, and send notes in class, and like that, like we did when we came up. And
Exactly.
so that is my goal for R&B.
Nice. I love it. So since you said full circle, we're gonna play a snippet of full circle. Right.
Classy lady, such style and grace. There's beauty, much more than a face. So glad you're here, mate of my soul. To having a home for the rest of my life. Like rings we wear, like rings we wear.
You almost caught me jamming over here.
Yes, yes.
So tell me the story behind that song.
So shout out, major shout out to my good friend Terry Giddings, who co-wrote this song with me. So those are her lyrics. We had talked earlier in the interview about the relationship I had with my friends and fans, and so I wanted this album to be more interactive. I didn't want to just go away and make music and come back and say, hey, I wanted this one to be, if you wrote songs, I, invited people to write with me. And I was just going off of the spirit. I was going off of, you know, you say you can write or you can sing or whatever you do, come with me. Let's do this together. And so I wanted it to be an interactive album. And so Terry was the first one to step up. She actually co-wrote 2 songs on the album, My Last Love and Full Circle. And I mean, she made it easy. She had the lyrics, and I've never done this before, where I took someone else's lyrics and I just, found a melody and made the music around it. But I wanted it to be, as I mentioned, interactive. And so she did her thing on that. And so
Yes, she did.
I definitely dig this one. But yeah, so she just amazing. She's an amazing vocalist herself, but she just wanted to write, and she did her thing.
Yeah, she did her thing. I like that song. She did her
Yes.
thing. So with
Yes.
you having Love Curated as your now latest album out, what is next for you after this 16 song album? What's next?
Well, I'm gonna hit the road. I'm gonna hit the road. I'm always gonna be creating and writing, but I want to, and I am, but I'm just hitting the stages and performing a new band, and we actually have some dates already lined up for 2025, and just looking forward to making music and just being in the music, just being in the atmosphere of the music.
Nice. So what does music mean to you at its core? Beyond the fame, beyond the success, what is the essence of why you create music?
It's that thing for me. I mean, if I want to be technical, it's that thing. It's that thing that's gonna get me pumped up in the gym. It's that thing that I can even cry about. It's that thing that I want to do and listen to. It's when I'm working, I got to listen to music. When, you know, it's just, and now realizing the artist part of me, that is my assignment. Before I thought it was just a thing. Well, it's not a hobby. Far from a hobby, but it is, in fact, what I deem what God called me to do and be. And the evidence is, the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm a shy guy, I used to be rather. and you couldn't get me to sing in front of someone. You know, if you would have told me 20, 30 years ago that I'll be doing interviews and sitting here, I wouldn't believe it. And so, you know, things are manifesting in front of us, and so it's by God's design that I'm here doing this thing.
Wow, shy guy.
Yeah.
I'm shy too, though. You wouldn't believe I was shy, but the shy ones always have the greatest talents.
Wow.
Yes, you know it. You know it.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
sit back and we just sit on them.
Yeah. Yeah. I really did. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Five Heartbeats. If you saw the Five Heartbeats, I was choir boy. I was you know, I was the last one that you would have thought, and me too for a long time. And that's again going back to me saying that this was a personal journey as well.
Mhm.
So realizing that, this is a thing that's in you that, shout out to all of my brothers that, there's the group that I had, they were, when I was in college, they're still doing music to certain degrees, but, you know, I got the greatest hits, I got the greatest hits, so, it's just a blessing.
Yeah, but you know that when you're truly walking in your purpose, it's easy. It's easy to
Hmm.
do whatever you want to do, and then after you finish, you're sweating. You're like, "Oh, I'm so glad that's over," but you did it anyway.
Yeah, exact. I like that analogy because that's exactly how it feels sometimes. To step out of that comfort zone and to
Mhm.
to do your thing. But then after you do it so many times, it's like, okay, you get
Yes,
over the initial nerves, and this is what we do. This is how it feels to be up here. If you've been on a roller coaster and you hear that tick 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 tick, and you go up top, and then
right.
you that drop. But yeah, I mean, it's unnerving, but at the same time, I mean, it's so gratifying.
It is. It is everything you do that you're walking, and that's your passion. It feels
Absolutely,
good before and after and during. So I have two
absolutely,
more questions for you.
sure.
All right. So when you look back over your whole career as an artist, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave in this world well after you're gone and with the R&B industry as a whole?
Um, I hope to inspire, so entertain and inspire. You probably if I had to choose between the two, um, leaning more on the inspire because um, there's so many messages that we're bombarded with throughout the day, but there is something to say about someone that can sing a song or whatever it is that they do. Maybe it's a joke, maybe they're a comedian, maybe they're an orator, whatever it is, and you step away and like, I want to be better. Like I want to be better. I want to be a better, you know, maybe a better spouse or better coworker, better son, daughter, whatever the case, whatever you do, you know what I mean. And so there's something to be said about that. And I think that's definitely what say Stevie Wonder has done for me, what a Michael Jackson has done for me. That's what Wu Tang did for me. I mean, it's like I'm inspired to, message music, all of the stuff that Marvin Gaye did, what's going on, and just, singing a song, whatever it is, your medium that can make somebody just think like, you know what, I can be better. I can do this. There's something to be said about that. You hear all the negativity in the news
Mhm.
and, the canceling of people, but, what about the people that are actually grinding and setting an example or just putting the message in whatever it is that they do,
Right.
there's something to be said about that. And so that's definitely something I want to do and have that part of my music, you know. Yeah, just being able to inspire someone. And shout out again to everyone that has listened to a note of my music and you were able to pull something out from it. God bless you.
Wow. But artists like artists you name, like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, those people music still resonate today. Marvin Gaye, people are still playing these songs, and that when I listen to music like that or hear music like that, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that timeless music. Like you said, you can listen to all your life, no matter what you're doing. You could be cleaning up the house.
Yeah,
Listen to these
exactly.
songs.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there is something to be said, about, and not just R&B, hip hop as well. I mean, there's, all of the music throughout the years, even to this day. I mean, there's still conscious, rappers and, hip hop artists that use their platform to better their communities or
Mhm.
better someone's life,
Right.
and are able to talk about, um, say mental health or, real issues. That this being an artist isn't a pie in the sky thing where you just being abstract to be abstract and you're not really, you don't have any substance. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think there's something to really be said about that. And I'm like, wow, maybe there's something in my, um, my journey and my walk that can bless somebody else. There's an aspiring painter or aspiring singer, and if this guy can do it, this dude that said he was shy and didn't know how to play, I had a coffee. It was, a lot of times they say it's a boy in a dream. For me, it was a boy in a coffee table, and just sitting there pretending. Who knew? And so, if God can do that for me, He can surely bless somebody else in whatever field they want to go in. So that's the legacy that I want to, leave.
Amen. I love it. Woo. So this is my final question for you. It's an out of the box question.
Okay.
If you could talk to your future self as an artist, what would you say?
If I could talk to my future self. If I could talk to my future self, um, I tell them to, just keep going. Keep going. Um, yeah, yeah, just continue to expand and grow, and um, whatever height that God allowed me to be at. You know, you still on this side of the river, so can continue to push.
Love it. So this is the 30 seconds of fame. So
Okay.
I'm gonna do your countdown again, and then when we come back, you're gonna be on the stage shining. I need you to let everybody know where they can stream that amazing album.
Okay.
What's next for you, and how they can connect with you. Period. To follow your journey. To maybe they want to interview you. Let them
Absolutely.
know how to contact you so we can win together.
All
All
right.
right. All right.
I'm tired of playing on the team. It seems I don't get time out anymore. Oh, and oh, what if we set the pace, face to face? No one even trying to score. Oh, and oh, oh.
Peace. This is Desmond Parson. The new album, Love Curated, is available on all platforms. All platforms. Also on CD. You can check me out on Bandcamp to get the CD. 16 tracks on all platforms. Go check it out. Available today, November 15th. Go listen to it in your car. Listen to it when you get out your car. Listen to it at work. I want you to listen to it everywhere. That's Love, 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 Love Curated. 16 tracks. You can catch me on Instagram at I am Desmond _Parson, Facebook Desmond Parson, YouTube Desmond Parson, Desmond Parson at gmail.com if you want to get in contact with me. Again, thank you all so much. The new album, again, Love Curated, available on all platforms.
Nice. I love it. I want me a autograph CD.
Say less. I already got it for you. I already got it for you.
I like that cover. I said I want
Thank
one of
you.
them.
Thank you. If I can, I want to give a major shout out to everybody. I'll paste this on my Instagram. But again, Terry, my brother Kyle, that mixed and mastered all of the tracks, Tony Crive, all of the musicians that have been on the album, Ashley Watkins, Joe Manchester. Again, Terry, thank you for everything. And yeah, Thank you all so much, Miss Sheila Shabazz on percussions. And again, thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming back and supporting my dream once again. Even though you shy, you still came up here and shine for me. Don't forget, we're locked in. If you
Absolutely.
decide you want to release something else, I'm here for it. And this album, I'm going to actually highlight it on one of my promos too, so I can
Thank
further
you.
get you out there.
Thank
So
you.
yes, this is how we do it. We got to win together. We got to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. And thank you so much to everyone else out there tuning into this amazing episode with Desmond. He has such a great personality. I love him. I can't wait to meet him in person one day. Y'all got to make sure y'all go out there and stream Love Curated. Who I know y'all in love with somebody now. So listen to it. It is a beautiful love story. It really is. When I said I was actually working and listening to this whole album, he said, "What you think about it? What you think about it?" I said, "I'm still listening to it." I actually was repeating songs over and over again. That's why I couldn't get through it, because it was certain songs that I really liked. So I finally got through it, and I was like, "Yes, this is beautiful." So make sure you go stream this amazing album for this amazing artist. He has an amazing personality as well. We have to do it together. That's the only way we're gonna do it. We have to do it together in order to win together. People need people, because the greatest artists in the world needed people to get where they were. Let's just think about it. All right, y'all. So let me get off my soapbox. Until next time, continue to break the silence in your own lives. Step out on faith and do whatever God has chosen you to do. Your story was already written. You just got to live it. That's it. So if you have enjoyed the insights, if you enjoyed this conversation, like, share, subscribe, and continue to support. And thank you so much to everyone that continues to support the Breaking the Silence movement. So until next time, enjoy your day.